Things are good, man. Excited to connect. I think I'm kind of now finally getting a grasp of what needs to get done
Yeah.
in a good golf swing. And so, sorry, the birds are chirping. It's going to be
No,
super loud.
that's great. That's great.
um, yeah, just super excited to kind of connect and take you through what I have kind of figured out I need to do, and
Yeah.
then kind of jump into a little more of the fields, right? Like, am I doing this right? And I'll take you through some of the stuff that I have. So, what we can do is I can jump into what I think I need to do in order to get to the final destination.
Yeah.
And I'll specifically go through, I think for me, it is right now, a lot of it is the backswing, right? Like just get into a solid position at the top
Yeah.
and then, continue doing slow drills for the transition to kind of, you know, get the motor pattern moving in the right direction, right? Which is going to happen a little bit over time. That's the way that I'm thinking about it. So would love to kind of get your feedback on, is this the right way? Do I have something, wrong that I'm kind of thinking
Yeah.
about?
Perfect.
So, I think what I have kind of figured out is, and again, I'm simplifying. Again, there are a lot of different components to the swing, but the way that I think about it now, and maybe you can't see all of it here, could be better. In terms of setup, there's a small change that I'm thinking about now, which I
Yeah.
didn't do before, was the little bit of a spine tilt at address, not a whole lot, just a tiny bit, and bumping up this hip a tiny bit at the top, like
Yeah.
just a tad bit, right? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know if you can see it, but not a whole
Yeah.
lot, right? So that is, I never used to do that. I almost feel like my spine was very neutral when I stood up. So, this, in my opinion, gets me to a position where I can get this lead shoulder on top of my trail foot, right? Like that's the feeling that I have, is how do I get to the lead shoulder to here at the top,
Yeah.
which allows me to have my spine leaned away from the target, right?
Perfect. Yeah.
While being loaded in this glute,
Yeah.
right? Without this being totally like loosey-goosey kind of, the stuff that I usually do, right? So
Yeah.
that's the first thing is, how do I get from, a proper setup to this position, right, at the top? So it'll be, somewhere around here.
Yeah.
And the transition at this point becomes more spine tilt.
Yeah.
In this direction.
Yeah.
As my, whether the elbow is coming down or I'm trying to throw the club away, like I need to figure out what's going to work for me. But
Yeah.
it is this more spine tilt and then boom from here to the top.
Yeah. I mean, I think you're bang on with what you're describing. Obviously, like in that movement there was great.
Okay. That's how I'm simplifying it in terms of what I need to get done. So it seems like we're on the same page, and that's what I have to work on.
Yeah,
right?
I think you're right about prioritizing the backswing. The thing that stood out to me a little bit in the video was just the down the line. In the first move, I felt like the club sort of wants to work like out and away for me a little bit. So I think you could do it. Let me just flip this. I think you could do it where you're going almost like as you start that first move, you're letting like, like pushing the ball back idea, that type of drill, like just letting your chest and almost like chest and hips do that first move. So the club's here. It just looks a little, sort of arm lifty a little early. I just think the sequencing of it's a little bit early,
Got it. Okay.
And it's like, it's pretty minimal. It's pretty minimal. It just, that was the thing that stood out to me. I felt like this part here was getting better. I would still push it more if you can, a little, but it's better. Yeah.
I can. And I think that's exactly why I wanted to have this discussion, is because of, my head's moving, and what I want to get to is the positions you want to see me in are completely foreign to me. So even if I'm doing them correct, I need validation of like, hey Rajat, like this much head movement is fine. Like I know
Yeah.
you're feeling weird and you feel like you're swaying all over the ball,
Yeah.
but you're not, right? And I think that's what I wanted to kind of, do today, was share with you my understanding of what needs to get done and get your feedback on, is that the right thing or not? And how do we get into the right kind of feel for me, just to the top of the backswing, right?
Yeah, that's right. Because I think what will happen is as you get that first move better, okay, this side will get over sooner. And then
Yeah.
as you go to finish, you'll be able to actually start to get that hip to go back sooner. So if I wait, like if I lift, and then try to get over, that's why it sort of looked a little across the line,
Okay.
because the lift was happening, then you were trying to sync it up. Where I think for you, if you can sync up the takeaway where the arms really don't do too much here, and then as you get that nice reach across, you're almost starting to get that hip to move in that last move. That would be like the icing on the cake, but that might take a little bit. But I think, yeah, you've done a great job. It's miles better, when I look from, especially face on, it looks so different.
Got it. Okay. And I think that's so, I think one thing I'm still struggling with is, as I start so there are two things I wanted to kind of check with you, which is, if I just focus on, let's say my shoulder, you're saying it's almost like this whole thing moves as one, right? Which is boom.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. And I would say do it almost like if you had a ball on the ground and you were going to take like your lead hand and just push the ball straight back. That's almost like what you're going to try to do. Like even if it's a heavy ball or a golf ball, you're just going to push it straight back off the mat. Yeah, there you go. Good. Even more.
Saying, this is the ball, push it.
Yeah, imagine it's like a 10-pound weight ball and you have to move it. Like you got to really be dramatic with it, like to get it to go. Yeah, good. And you can do it. That was good. You can do it almost by moving, like almost feeling like this whole thing helps you go, doesn't just have to be this. Yeah.
That's the thing, right? Which I'm like, oh my God, I'm like swaying all over. So that's exactly the feel that I want, which you're saying is.
Yes. Yes. It's almost like you go, it's almost like you're going to shift, like you're going to make a big shift, but then this leg stops you and then you go up.
Got it.
It's not just staying steady. It's like you're going to shift, but then your leg stabilizes. You start to push off that leg as you start. There you go. That's it. Yeah, exactly.
Got it.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, there you go. Perfect. So much better.
Dude, I literally feel like my head has moved.
Oh, do it again. Do it again. I'll show you.
It's moved 5 inches on the right. Like that's how I feel.
Good. Perfect. That's totally fine. Awesome. Okay, so watch this. Ready? So check the tree right here by your head.
Yeah.
So like this amount of movement is totally fine. Like I say half a head is sort of my max range that I like people to move. Like, so if you think about half a head, you would probably be you'd be definitely on the other side of that branch up there. And you're not, you sort of get there and then you stabilize and then you start to come back. And that's exactly what we want. It's like you go, I'm going to move this way, but then I start pushing and then it stabilizes me. Then I can start to go back the other way.
Got it.
But if I just try to go like this and restrict, like everything, then it's hard to load up,
This is definitely more athletic for me, which is.
There you go. Beautiful. Yeah, right? That's it. Oh, yeah. Yeah. That's moved. Now you've moved. You've loaded that system a bit better to me in that motion. Oh, that was good. And I want like it's gonna feel like let me think here, twice as much of that as that last one still.
Okay.
Yeah, like it was, you didn't let yourself get all the way to where you got in the rep. There's our rep, right? So there's our sort of gold star standard.
Okay.
If we can get there.
Okay. So I'm going to do it again. I'm going to exaggerate it this time.
Yeah. That was much better. And then, so when I watch it, let me just watch this one. We're getting there. So like this move. So now what I would like to see is before your chest starts, see how your chest starts to unwind? We still have a little bit of that reverse K look, just like this, right?
Yep.
You see that?
Yep. Yep.
So it's almost like as you start to do the next move,
yeah. Sorry, it's starting to rain here.
Oh, no problem. As you're starting to do the next move, you're here.
Yeah.
You're trying to separate that hip from that shoulder without unwinding too quick. If I go that way, then I get that look again, right?
Exactly. And my secondary spine tilt is not happening.
Yeah,
right?
and that's just, we know that pattern's in there, but if we get the backswing where we want it, we have a chance to move the next, move the needle.
That is exactly what. So I think two things that I have, struggled with is obviously when you pointed out the reverse K, the, spine tilting away from the target.
Yeah.
Or spine tilting towards the target at the top of the backswing. So I think one, I'm struggling with that. So I'm going to fix it. Second is my transition has always been like yank the handle. So I'm telling myself subconsciously, hey man, that's not my source of speed.
Yeah.
My source of speed is what we talked about, right? Which is the separation of the hips and the shoulder. And so that's where I have to like go a little easy on the transition to give my body the time to do the separation and generate speed versus yank the handle down, which is what.
Yeah, I'm almost thinking like if you had like I don't even have a towel in here, but say I had a towel or something.
Yeah.
Like if I go back and the towel's like sort of floating here, and then I have to move my hip before the towel sort of falls this way. Like I don't want to, go and then throw the towel out there. You almost want it to land on your shoulder as you're going this way, then throw it out. That would be the like exaggerated sequencing of that movement, right?
Yeah, completely. And I think for me, it just is, I have to pause at the top.
Yeah, that last one was better for sure.
I have to get that pause till it becomes automatic movement. Which again, I don't know if it takes a month, 2 months, 6 months, 18 months, I don't know, but I'm going to continue working on that because
that was the actual swing. And I would say from a body standpoint, that is perfect. Okay. And then it's going to be how much can you get that lead hip to outrace your chest, basically from there down.
Okay. How do you do it, Tyler? Like what's your feel at the top?
Yeah, so I think a good drill to help sense that. I got this chair right here behind me.
Yeah.
So I get up, so I get here, and then I take my right hip pocket and I just slide it across the chair. So if I'm like trying to think, yeah, this might be good. So
yeah.
It's sliding that way, my right pocket. It's not jumping. I'm not jumping that hip like this. So that would be, my right hip would get really elevated that way. And then there's my K look, right?
Yeah.
So I'm going sort of the opposite. As I get up, that hip sort of slides that way. And you can see how that gives me, if I exaggerate it, right? Like I can get my chest, see how different that angle, that angle would be, right? So and when I do it good, I almost feel my right, like there's a muscle around my glute med here that almost spazzes when I do it really good and slow. Because it's like, that's this motion, that's trail leg abduction, this direction.
Yeah.
So that's me going that way in that first move.
Yeah. Okay. So I get it. So what you're saying is once I get to the top,
yeah, and I think put the club across your shoulders when you do this.
Because I'm feeling my
put the club across your shoulders. Club across the shoulders. Perfect. Load it up. Good. Okay. Now keep the club head pointed at the camera or behind the camera. Yeah. Oh, that way more. Other way.
Oh.
Like your chest staying closed as you slide the right hip. Like try to feel like your chest goes there you go. Now unwind. Yeah, that would be exaggeration of the movement. Just like I'm throwing, right? So as I go back, watch my back hip, right? My back hip is it's going that direction.
Yeah.
You know, it's not going, I'm not going like that when I go to throw it hard. I'm going that way, and then I'm making my throw. It's the exact same, you know, same idea.
Got it. Okay. Let me pull out the driver real
Yeah.
quick, Tyler. I'm gonna just get your thoughts on, again, the posture to get
Yep.
to the top.
Oh, can I see? I want to see down the line after you show me this from the front here.
Absolutely, we'll do that because I wanna also understand the hip load so that
Mhm.
I'm going deeper. Um, same thing here, which is again, a little bit of a spine tilt.
I was just gonna say straighten your left arm. That was something that I noticed. Left arm straight. Yeah, for you.
Okay.
Even more like uncomfortable. It's gonna be uncomfortable. I already know because I'm good with soft arms, but they were just too soft. Yeah, there you go. Right there is fine.
Okay. And so the same thing, right? The ball.
Yeah, that would be. I would take it. I would take it.
So for me, it almost feels like all I'm just doing is getting my shoulder and my head over my right foot, both of them over the right foot.
Yeah, and then the offsetting, load of the hip or push from the right foot stabilizes that transfer. Perfect. Yeah, great job. Yeah, like that would be the exaggeration of it. Can I see that down the line? I just want to see what it looks like.
Yeah, but just one clarification point, Tyler. So what the feel that I'm having right now is I'm gonna get my lead shoulder and my head almost inside of my right foot. Okay.
Yeah.
So tell me if this at going to the top is a good load.
Great. You can have a little more lateral with the lower body in the first move and then do it, but it's fine. So it's like a little more shift and then load it up. There. Yeah, that was it. That was it. Perfect. Yeah, that part, the second part. So right there. So do that second part one more time. I don't want to hijack the focus of the backswing. I just want to show you one thing in that second part.
Yeah.
Okay, now have the left leg start to straighten. So at that point, you almost need max force into the lead leg right there. So you're gonna have to start pushing out of that left foot right there. There you go, good, yeah. Because here's Scott sort of at that same spot that you were at. We want that left leg to start pushing probably here. So that's why it's so important to get enough over there. So I do this by here, then I can get, because I want max force in that leg probably right here, right? If I'm too late, so I get there, I'm not over the right spot, and then I'm having to do something, and it's really, my power just happens way too late. Like my energy out of the ground is too late at that point.
Okay, got it. Now, the other thing, and I'll show you down the line, the other thing I wanted to make sure is I don't feel like I'm restricting any of my hips. Like with what you just taught me,
yeah,
very fluid motion to kind of just get into the right side.
Yeah.
It's not like, oh, because I should keep this at the back, I'm like putting any strain and stopping it. We don't want any of that, right?
No, it should. I think if you do it right, the ground, your brain will, if we do the timing right, the brain will, if you are pushing the ground at the right time, the hip and everything will stabilize, If there's nothing going into the ground, it's like you're just sort of going back and forth. But if I go, okay, I'm going to move this way, but then I push and then it stops me, and then all of these muscles are doing what I want them to do, right?
Yeah, got it. So right now for me, all my focus is just kind of load up on the right.
Yeah. Beautiful.
Okay. All right. I'll get down the line.
No, it's good. I was going to show you. So there's this would be the exaggerated load up, right? Just of how much that shoulder gets around his chin. I think the picture for you is the more of your sort of back I see, the better off. When you do the old way, sort of looks like this, like there's nothing there, right? Now, in your new way, hang on, I'll give you the visual actually of what I'm talking about. So this is your new look, right? So we're here. So now I see way more of that lat and load up, right? And then there's Berkshire. So same, like, same idea, obviously maybe even fractionally more, but we're starting to see more of that.
Yeah.
Where even in the swing you sent, I didn't see as much of this as I wanted to see, where now I'm starting to see it.
Head movement, right? Because I was like, oh, the head should stay straight. Like I can't move, So like that's the myth, right?
Yeah,
it's like
myth for sure. Yeah.
Straight. And so that's why you didn't see it.
Yeah, exactly. But if we get to there, we can do a lot of cool things in that transition move from that position, because you have a nice sort of stretch and lots of great things happening.
Yeah. Okay. Let me get you down the line here.
Perfect.
All right. Cool.
Here's actually a neat look of that transition move. Like, just for this is, I actually have never looked at his. I just want to see. Watch his right hip. Ready?
Yeah. He's like squats down into it hard.
You see that? So that actually increases that load in the hip, and then he jumps out of it, right?
Yep. Wow.
So like if I get to there, say right there, and I zoom out, so he still has that line, right? And he's got that crease, and then he jumps out of it, right? Obviously a massive amount of push back. But totally. That's why I just wanted to show you what that hip did. It didn't go like this, it did wham, like into it, and then boom, and sort of snap back as he did it. And obviously we don't have to do all of that. It just, when you hit it as far as he does, that leaves a couple clues.
Totally.
Yeah.
His 9-iron is like 200 yards, man.
Yeah, I know, it's ridiculous.
All right, can you see me?
Yeah, perfect. Stand up a little taller. Good. Lower your hands and move them closer to you. I just lower them, push them down, like add a bit of sort of this look. This way, like pushing them down to the ground. There you go. Yeah, that's what I wanted more of.
Got it.
So it's almost like you feel like the toe of the driver's in the air, but it's not going to be.
Got it. Yeah, it feels like that. Okay.
Okay, good. That's what I wanted. That's what I saw from the swing that you sent a while ago. Yeah, it looks better. I just wanted a picture of that setup. Better. Yeah. Good. So do it one more time. What would I do? You see that, you know that pylon or that cone in front of you there by your golf bag?
Yeah.
Can you put it behind the mat, like in line with the camera or slightly inside towards you? Right there. Yeah, actually right there. Perfect. Okay. I almost want you to see what the takeaway would feel like. Move it just to the right. Actually, I want it right behind your takeaway. Your club head's going to hit it.
So behind my takeaway, okay?
Sorry, move it more to the camera, just off the mat. Just off the mat, and more towards the ball line.
Got it.
Right there. Yeah, let's see what that does. I think that's going to be what I want. I think. Yeah, perfect. Show me the first foot nice and slow.
First what?
First foot of backswing nice and slow. Like you do the shift over, first foot, and then stop. Right before the pylon. Okay, lower the head low enough where you push the pylon over. So how would you move the club if you're going to push the pylon? I want you to push the pylon over in your takeaway. So slow. It's going to feel so low to the ground compared to what you're used to. I want you to hit can you hit it?
Yeah, hang on. Yeah. No.
Yeah. So what are you going to have to do to hit that guy?
Yeah. Oh, wow. It is really low.
Yeah. And that's the part that I think we need to do a little bit better is making sure that club head in that first move doesn't get high too quick.
Got it.
There's a certain amount of like, that's radial deviation, right? Load, like setting of the wrist. I think most people need, you know, sometimes you need a little more. I think you have a little too much. Good. I would take it. Do it one more time. Show me one where you feel like your hands are totally jello in the first move, like you can't even move them, like just like they're just totally not doing anything.
So like stiff.
I would say more like jello, like you can't. You're like they're so relaxed, they're not doing much.
Got it. Okay.
Using your chest. There you go. Do that one more time. I like that one. So it's like your chest, and you're going to reach back towards the camera and touch the club to the camera with the shift. Try to touch the camera. There you go. Yeah. And that's going to be like for you, you typically go slightly across, which I'm okay with right now. I'm not sure how the club's going to rebalance when you do. So there's the top, right? So like club slightly across there, obviously, which is fine. If I got your right arm, if I tightened up that right arm,
yeah,
you know, this is all dependent on how you move, but you do a good job of going like this in transition. So I'm not sold that you're going to have to do it, especially with that new transition move. So we'll have to see. But this part, so here's the takeaway. This is you feeling like you're not doing anything with the club head. So the club head is still that way, okay? So see where the club head is?
Yep.
So I would like to see that actually more through your hands. So all that's happening is, like I was saying before, you have like a pattern where you like to do this motion with the wrist. So it almost goes down, but there's not a lot of movement this way, right? So we want
this rotation's not happening, right?
Yeah, so some people they do too much of this. That's pronation, right? The hand going this way, okay? You actually go the opposite. So if I had you on 3D, I think you would actually probably twist the opposite way with the club going like that. So then the club head sort of pointed over there. What I'd like to see is as you go, almost like the elbow points a little more to the ground and then stays pointed to the ground, where right now it sort of points back behind you a little bit and the club's here. And then, like it's a little too much to me, a little too much.
Okay.
Just when the weight of the club gets that far away from you and that high. So I think the idea that you're going to push the pylon down or that cone down is a good one. So see that back little, you see where the alignment stick is on the back of the mat, touching the back of the mat?
Yeah.
No, actually towards me, that one. Show me the takeaway where the club touches that and then stop. It's going to feel bizarro to you. So you're going to touch that alignment stick. Just go slow. Just touch it. Touch it actually on the ground. It's like slide the club on the ground. There you go. Slide it right to the stick. Keep going. Touch the stick. How would you touch? There you go. Okay. Touch the stick in that takeaway. There you go. Now go up to the top. Touch the stick and up. Okay. So I'm just going to show you what that did. I'm sure it felt like the weirdest thing ever because of where the takeaway used to be. This is what you just did. Can you see okay? Okay. Ready?
Yeah. Oh, wow.
So see how like it's just outside your hands now?
Yeah.
And then this is when I said just touch the stick. Look where it was. So if you actually would have done that, see how the club just looks like it's swinging around you a little bit?
Yeah.
So I think if you could, not saying you have to do it all the way, but the idea that the club would stay low as you get the chest and hips to help you, and then you do that push up to stabilize and get that big turn. I think that would, not big turn, but solid turn. I think that would be what I'd be looking at continuing to push.
Okay.
Make sense?
Yeah, makes sense. What about irons though? Same thing with the iron. Should I show you down the line once with the iron?
Sure. Yeah, I would say similar. I wouldn't have it as low, but for you, I think it might feel still a little low.
Okay.
And then I want to do one thing at the top and see what you feel. This is actually out of interest.
Mosquito attack.
Yeah. So first move, stand up taller, straighten your arms. There you go. Good. Perfect. Good. Okay. Stay right. Yeah. Now take the butt of the grip and point it at the camera. How would you take the butt of the grip to just in the takeaway? So at the top, stop so the butt of the club points more at the camera than behind it.
At the top?
Yeah. Yeah. There you go. Perfect. That's hold that position. So that would just be, that's just a side note for top of the backswing position. I would be more aware of how long and across it was getting. So that's when you did putting it sort of to the camera. See how the balance looks?
Yeah.
I would try to keep it close to there because that rebalance point I think will be a little easier to manage as you go faster.
Okay. So in terms of priority to work on, it is the first step being, obviously get okay with the setup, right?
Yeah, I would say setup. Yeah, lead, hip, arms. It's really for you. I would just watch you like to really get those arms. I'm just trying to picture your hand position. It's almost like you get it sort of handle high, arms really bent. I would try to feel like arms are very straight with a little more like handle down almost feel in that address position.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Good. And I'm okay with that. I think I could live with that setup. Yeah. Show me totally straight arms. I'm just trying to, that was okay. I thought that looked pretty good. Yeah.
Here.
Perfect. Yeah, that's what you need to feel. That looks fine.
Okay. And then it is head and left shoulder.
And then I want you to stabilize the arm position so the butt of the club still points at the camera. Yeah, there you go. Good. So I want that big load up, but I don't want the club going too across the line. Okay. Because you can do it. You can do big load up like this, but still have the club not go that way too much.
Yep.
Okay.
Got it.
Awesome, man. You're doing great. Big changes. Excited to see how you progress.
I got my first eagle on Thursday, man.
Hey, that's exciting. That's really great.
Solid uphill par 5 into the wind, 510, 15 yards. So
That's so great. That's amazing, man. Congrats.
Thanks, man. I'm excited, man. So I'm gonna focus. I'm gonna keep it simple, Tyler. I know we discussed a lot of concepts. I'll refer to the video, but
yeah,
I'm gonna focus on actually getting the proper load.
Perfect.
And I personally, I'll work a little bit on the angles of takeaway, but my focus will be just, first P1 is this.
Yeah,
right?
I totally agree. If you get that, the way the club moves and all that stuff, there's side notes, and if you're hitting it good, it probably doesn't even matter that much. But the better the load gets, I think the easier it will be for you.
Because my concern is with all this stuff, I'm afraid, I'm like, oh my God, I'm gonna get it behind. I'm gonna start thinking a lot of other things.
Yeah, no, go with the load. I totally big shift, solid, yeah.
This and this.
Perfect.
Then I think we can get into the nitty-gritties of cleaning up a few.
Yeah, I agree, man. I agree. I think you've done a good job so far. It was actually fun to look at the face on and say, whoa, that's a different face on. Because I always am like, I go slow. I'm like, oh, is this gonna look different? Yeah, and it looked a lot different. So that was good job, and we'll just keep pushing it.
Totally, man. And especially with the head movement now, you'll see it. I'll send you a video maybe in a week or so. Let me listen and kind of get into the rhythm of it. But you'll start to see at least the backswing clean up a lot. And we're in low chest, head, and this, then we can start to clean up the angles.
Yeah, perfect, man. That's great. And I think as you go back, it's like the head's going to be moving, and then you start to push, and then that stabilizes you into the right spot, right? Versus, I know you're going to feel like you're over here, but when you look at it, you're probably still going to be there, right? So, perfect, man. Awesome.
Thank you so much, Tyler. As always.
Take care. Good work so far. More
All right.
eagles to come.
Totally.
Okay.
I'm excited.
See you,
Bye,
man.
brother. Take care. Bye.
Bye.